Have you ever wondered why some people can stay calm, no matter how chaotic or hurtful the world around them seems? While you're fighting the urge to explode, they remain unshaken, like nothing can touch them. What do they know that you don't? What if I told you that you could experience that same peace? That you could walk through life unbothered, untouched by the harsh words or actions of others, no matter how much they seem to push you? This isn't a fantasy. It's a secret that, once unlocked, can transform every moment of your life. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand how to reclaim your peace and never feel angry or bothered by anyone again. We all know what it feels like to be angry. That fiery rush, the pressure building in your chest, the pounding pulse in your temples. It's exhausting. But here's the thing, anger doesn't just hurt the person you're angry at. It eats away at you too. It steals your peace, your energy, and your ability to think clearly. And in moments of frustration, when you're caught in the rush of anger, it's easy to believe that the world around you is the cause. That person who cut you off in traffic, the coworker who made a snide remark, the friend who didn't show up when they said they would. These things make you angry, right? But deep down, you know that's not entirely true. Think about it. How many times have you faced the same situation, but someone else handled it with grace? They didn't get angry. They didn't let it ruin their day. The difference isn't in the situation itself. It's in how they respond to it. Their ability to stay calm, unaffected, and serene is something you can learn too. In fact, it's already inside you. The key is to unlock it. You see, anger doesn't come from the outside world. It's not the person or the situation that makes you angry. It's how you choose to react to it. That's the hidden truth that so many people miss. You have the power to control your emotions, to decide whether to let anger flood your system or whether to let it go. The power to remain calm, to stay unbothered, doesn't lie in controlling the world around you. It lies in controlling yourself. Imagine for a moment walking through your day with a deep sense of calm. No matter what happens, no matter who says what, you remain unshaken. You no longer allow external events to dictate your emotional state. You become like a rock, unmoved by the waves crashing around you. This level of control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's not about denying that you're hurt or frustrated. It's about choosing to respond differently. It's about taking a step back, pausing, and deciding that, no matter what's happening outside, your inner world remains intact. No one can touch that peace, and it's not some distant, unreachable goal. It's within your grasp right now. The reason why so many people struggle with anger is because they don't understand that it's a reaction, not a natural state. Anger is a response, often driven by fear, insecurity, or the need to feel in control. But here's the most empowering part. You don't have to stay in that response. You don't have to give in to the urge to react with anger every time you're hurt or frustrated. When you realize that you can control how you respond, you start to see life differently. And it's this realization that's going to give you a level of freedom that most people will never experience. But it's not enough just to understand this concept intellectually. You have to practice it. You have to remind yourself, time and time again, that your peace is your responsibility. In every moment, you have a choice. Will you let that person's words define your mood? Will you let their behavior control your emotional state? Or will you choose to respond with grace, patience, and understanding? The power to choose how you react is what will set you free. And once you master this, once you start making this choice consistently, you'll begin to feel a sense of freedom and peace you've never known before. This is the secret. It's not about avoiding difficult situations or trying to change people around you. It's about changing how you view and react to those situations. The less you depend on others to make you feel good, the less control they have over your emotional state. When you stop reacting with anger or frustration, you will discover an inner peace that's always been there waiting for you. And that peace will be your strength. It will allow you to move through life with a calm confidence that no one and nothing can disturb. So, if you're tired of being upset, tired of letting other people's actions steal your joy, know that the power to stop all of that is in your hands. The key to never getting angry, to never being bothered by anyone, is not about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. And once you unlock that, everything changes. The truth is, most of the anger we feel comes from a place of vulnerability. It's not a coincidence that we get upset when we feel disrespected or misunderstood. Anger often arises when our sense of self is threatened, when we feel attacked, or when things aren't going the way we believe they should. These emotional triggers are deeply rooted in our need for validation and control. We all have a deep desire to feel seen, heard, and valued. But what if the very thing that makes us angry, our need for validation, was also the source of our frustration? When we allow ourselves to rely on others to validate our worth, we are giving up control over our own happiness. We're leaving our emotional state in someone else's hands. The more we expect others to treat us in a certain way, the more power we give them over us. And when that expectation isn't met, when people don't behave the way we want them to, we feel disappointed, hurt, and yes, angry. But here's the turning point. The moment you realize that your worth is not tied to how others see you, you can start to break free from the chains of anger. You begin to understand that your peace does not come from the approval of others. It comes from within. This shift in mindset is everything. The moment you stop seeking validation from the outside world, you tap into a well of inner strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Imagine the freedom in knowing that you don't need anyone's approval to feel good about yourself. You don't need to get a response to feel respected or valued. Your self-worth becomes rooted in who you are, not in how others behave toward you. This realization doesn't come overnight, but with consistent practice, it becomes your new reality. The more you practice self-validation, the more you start to own your emotions. You realize that no one can make you feel anything without your permission. When you reach this level of emotional autonomy, you stop reacting to the actions of others. Instead, you start responding with peace, with understanding, with a kind of emotional resilience that others can only dream of. You become the calm in the storm. You are no longer a prisoner of your reactions. You are free. Now, let's dive deeper into why this works. The reason we often feel threatened by others is that we project our own insecurities onto them. When someone challenges us, whether through words, actions, or attitudes, we unconsciously believe it's a reflection of our own inadequacy. This is why we feel triggered. We think that their behavior is a judgment of us, and so we react, desperately trying to defend our ego. But when you stop identifying with your insecurities, you stop seeing every challenge as a personal attack. You realize that the way someone behaves says more about them than it does about you. When you stop attaching meaning to someone's behavior, you free yourself from their grip. You no longer allow their actions to determine your emotional state. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you choose to see their actions for what they are. Just that, actions, not personal judgments. You stop taking things personally, and in that space, you find peace. Think about how much energy you've wasted on things that really don't matter. How many times have you let a passing comment, an unfair remark, or a rude gesture ruin your day? In those moments, you allowed someone else to hold the key to your happiness. And what did it cost you? Stress, tension, and a sense of powerlessness. But now, you have the opportunity to take that power back. You have the ability to choose how you react, how much of your energy you're willing to give away. And the most incredible part? The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. It's like strengthening a muscle. You keep exercising your emotional control, and over time, it becomes second nature. Every time you choose not to react, you are building emotional strength. You're showing yourself that you are bigger than any situation, bigger than any person who tries to push your buttons. You realize that you are the master of your own emotions, and nothing or no one can take that away from you unless you allow it. The more you refuse to react in anger, the more you align yourself with your true power. You begin to see that anger is not a sign of strength, it's a sign of vulnerability. It's a defense mechanism that arises when we feel small, when we feel weak. But real strength comes from remaining calm, from responding with wisdom, not impulsivity. And here's the breakthrough: this control, this peace, this emotional strength, it attracts positivity. When you remain calm and composed, you become magnetic. People notice. They sense your peace and gravitate toward it. They respect your ability to remain calm in the face of chaos. You become a beacon of light, someone who radiates confidence, self-assurance, and inner peace. Your strength becomes a silent but powerful force. What you might not realize is that by learning to stay unbothered by others, you are not only transforming yourself, you are transforming the way others interact with you. People begin to treat you with more respect because they feel the strength of your energy. They see you as someone who is emotionally mature, who doesn't get swept away by the drama or the negativity that others bring into their lives. You stop reacting to the world, you start responding to it with wisdom, grace, and a quiet, unshakable strength. As you begin to let go of the need for validation, of the need to defend your ego, you begin to live with more freedom, more peace, and more power. You stop being a victim of the world around you, and you start becoming the creator of your own emotional reality. The world can no longer control your inner peace because you've taken back your power. The truth is, no one can make you angry without your permission, and once you realize this, you are free. And that freedom is the greatest gift you could ever give yourself. When you begin to detach yourself from the need for validation and stop reacting to every outside trigger, something remarkable starts to happen. You unlock the ability to choose how you feel. Imagine that for a moment, you are the one who decides what to let in, what to accept, and what to push away. No longer are you at the mercy of other people's actions. No longer are you shackled by the things that once bothered you. You begin to realize that your emotional state is no longer dictated by the people or circumstances around you. Your peace is a choice, and with that choice comes a freedom that most people will never experience. This power isn't just about feeling calm in the moment. It's about reclaiming control over your life. When you stop reacting to everything around you, you give yourself the gift of time and space. You create room to think before you act, to pause before you speak, and to breathe before you let anger or frustration take over. That space is where your true strength lies. In those moments of pause, you can choose how to respond, how to see things differently, how to rise above. This is not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. When you're able to detach your emotional response from someone else's actions, you can start to look at life from a place of clarity. You stop seeing challenges as personal attacks and you begin to see them as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, opportunities to expand your emotional capacity, and opportunities to show up as your best self. Instead of getting bogged down by every little thing that goes wrong or every person who says the wrong thing, you start to recognize that your emotional state is yours to shape. Every situation becomes an opportunity to practice patience, empathy, and inner peace. You might be wondering how you can make this shift, how you can move from a place of constant reaction to a place of peace and control. It starts with something simple yet incredibly powerful: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to be fully present in the moment, to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, without letting them control you. It's about acknowledging that anger or frustration might arise, but instead of letting it overwhelm you, you notice it, acknowledge it, and then let it go. When you practice mindfulness, you start to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. This practice of mindfulness allows you to detach from the narrative that anger is justified, that frustration is necessary. It helps you break free from the belief that you must react immediately to every situation. Instead, you start to choose your response. And when you choose to respond with peace and understanding, you break the cycle of emotional reactivity. You no longer live in a state of constant reaction. You live in a state of calm presence, where you can observe, reflect, and then choose. The more you practice this, the more you start to realize that anger is often a reaction to something much deeper: fear, insecurity, or a sense of helplessness. When you react in anger, it's often because you feel powerless. But when you take a step back and breathe, when you give yourself the space to reflect, you begin to see things differently. The person who made a rude comment, the driver who cut you off, none of them have power over you unless you give it to them. When you stop letting their behavior define you, you find a sense of inner power that doesn't rely on anyone else's actions. This inner strength doesn't come from trying to control everything around you. It comes from the realization that you are the one in control of how you respond to life's challenges. And the more you practice this, the more it becomes second nature. You begin to respond to challenges with a sense of calm confidence, knowing that you have the power to remain unshaken no matter what. It's this emotional resilience that allows you to thrive, to rise above the noise, and to live with a sense of purpose and clarity. By mastering your emotional responses, you also create a space for compassion. You begin to see that everyone has their struggles, their fears, and their insecurities. When you stop reacting in anger, you free yourself from the need to judge others. You start to respond with empathy, understanding that their actions are often a reflection of their own inner turmoil. This shift in perspective allows you to stop taking things personally and to let go of resentment. Instead of holding on to anger, you hold space for love, patience, and understanding. And with that, you not only free yourself from anger, but you also free yourself from the weight of judgment. You realize that no one is perfect, including yourself. When you can let go of the need to be right, the need to prove yourself, the need to defend your ego, you start to live with more grace. You accept yourself and others as they are, without trying to change them or make them fit into your expectations. And in that acceptance, you find peace. This peace isn't fragile. It isn't dependent on the people around you or the situations that arise in your life. It's unshakable. It's yours to keep, no matter what happens. When you take control of your emotional responses, you unlock the ability to navigate life with ease and grace. You stop being a prisoner of your own emotions, and you start becoming the master of them. You learn that the key to never getting angry or bothered by anyone is not in changing the world around you. It's in changing how you respond to it. And once you make that shift, once you truly understand that your emotional peace is in your hands, you become unstoppable. The world might keep throwing challenges your way, but you'll face them with a sense of calm, a sense of power, and a sense of clarity that others will admire and respect. Because you've learned the greatest lesson of all, you don't need to control the world. You only need to control how you respond to it. And with that, you are free. As you start to embrace this powerful shift, this realization that you alone control your emotional state, you'll begin to notice something incredible. Life becomes lighter. The weight of anger, frustration, and resentment begins to melt away, and in its place, a sense of freedom, clarity, and peace takes root. The constant pressure to react, to defend yourself, to prove something to others dissipates. What was once a battlefield of emotions becomes a serene landscape where your peace is untouchable. But here's the key. This peace isn't passive. It's not a state of ignoring the world or pretending that things don't upset you. It's an active choice. It's the decision to not let anything or anyone have the power to disturb your inner calm. It's not about avoiding conflict or confrontation. It's about approaching them with a grounded sense of who you are and a deep understanding that nothing outside of you can define your worth or determine your peace. When you start responding instead of reacting, you begin to move through life with a sense of purpose and confidence that is grounded in your own sense of self. The opinions of others, the judgments, the criticisms, they no longer have the same grip on you. The need for approval starts to fade away, and with it, so does the anger that once came from not getting the validation you thought you needed. This is when you realize the true strength that lies in emotional resilience. Emotional resilience isn't about ignoring emotions or pretending that everything is fine all the time. It's about acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you. It's about understanding that you don't have to act on every feeling, every impulse. When you feel anger rising, you don't have to give in to it. You can sit with it, observe it, and let it pass without letting it dictate your actions or your mood. And in doing so, you create space for a greater, more powerful emotional response, a response rooted in clarity, calm, and strength. The real transformation comes when you start to notice the power this gives you in your relationships with others. When you stop reacting to people's behavior and stop letting their words control your emotions, you begin to see them differently. Instead of seeing people as threats or challenges, you begin to see them as fellow humans, each with their own struggles and insecurities. You stop taking things personally, because you understand that everyone's actions are a reflection of their own inner world, not a reflection of you. This shift in perspective brings with it a deep sense of compassion. You begin to empathize with others on a deeper level. Instead of responding with defensiveness or anger, you respond with understanding. You start to see that people who lash out, who are rude, or who criticize, they're not attacking you. They're simply projecting their own pain, fear, or insecurity. When you can recognize this, you stop letting their behavior affect your emotional state. You can remain grounded, calm, and kind even when others are not. This newfound emotional clarity also brings with it a deep sense of personal freedom. The moment you stop seeking validation from the outside world, you free yourself from the endless cycle of trying to please others, trying to prove yourself, trying to earn approval. You stop seeking permission to be who you are. You no longer need to meet others' expectations to feel good about yourself. Your worth is intrinsic. It's not dependent on the opinions or actions of others. In this space of freedom, you begin to realize that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to defend yourself, to justify your actions, or to seek approval. Your self-worth comes from within. This realization alone is transformative. It's the moment when you stop searching for validation outside of yourself, and you start cultivating it from within. You become your own source of strength, peace, and confidence. And this shift doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. When you stop reacting to the world and start responding with calm, grace, and understanding, you create an environment that is peaceful and empowering for everyone you come into contact with. You set the tone for your relationships, your workplace, your home. Your calmness becomes contagious. People begin to gravitate toward you because they can sense your emotional stability, your inner strength. You become the anchor in the storm, the one people turn to for guidance, support, and peace. You start to attract relationships that are based on respect, understanding, and mutual growth. No longer are you caught up in toxic dynamics or power struggles. You begin to attract people who value you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. The energy you project, the energy of peace, confidence, and emotional control, draws in the right people, the people who resonate with your energy, and who are on the same journey of personal growth and emotional mastery. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to see the beauty in life's challenges. You stop seeing them as obstacles to your happiness and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. When life throws you curveballs, you don't react with anger or frustration. Instead, you approach them with curiosity, with the mindset that every challenge is a chance to deepen your emotional strength and resilience. Life becomes a playground for personal growth, and with each challenge you face, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. This is the essence of emotional mastery. It's about realizing that the only thing you can control is how you respond to life's challenges. And when you take responsibility for your own emotional state, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your emotional reality. No one else can determine how you feel, because you are the master of your emotions. And once you take control of that, you unlock a life of true freedom, peace, and joy. When you fully embrace the understanding that your peace is yours to control, a profound sense of empowerment washes over you. You start to see the truth. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Every interaction, every situation, every challenge, each one is an opportunity for you to practice emotional mastery, to rise above the noise, to strengthen your inner resolve. You realize that no one can take your peace from you unless you allow them to. The key lies within you. What most people fail to realize is that their reactions, their anger, their frustration, and their stress are often rooted in the desire to control things outside of themselves. They try to control people, situations, and outcomes, believing that if they can just make things go the way they want, they will be happy. But this is a false belief. True happiness, true peace, does not come from controlling the external world. It comes from controlling how you respond to it. When you start shifting your focus inward, when you stop trying to control everything around you, you free yourself from the grip of anger, resentment, and frustration. Instead of fighting the world, you start working with it. You start seeing that every person, every experience, and every challenge is an opportunity to practice patience, understanding, and growth. You begin to look at the world through a lens of curiosity, not judgment. You start to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? This change in mindset doesn't mean that you stop setting boundaries or standing up for yourself. It doesn't mean you let others walk all over you. It simply means that you stop letting their actions dictate your emotional state. You stop reacting with anger or frustration when things don't go your way, and instead, you choose to respond with calmness and clarity. You realize that your emotions are yours to control, and no one else has the power to take that from you. The beauty of this mindset shift is that it gives you the freedom to be yourself, fully and unapologetically. You no longer have to hide your true feelings or walk on eggshells to avoid triggering anger in others. You stop measuring your worth by the approval or disapproval of those around you. You begin to trust yourself, your intuition, and your ability to navigate through life's challenges without losing your sense of peace. The more you practice this, the more you start to notice something else. Life begins to respond to you differently. People begin to treat you with more respect, more kindness, more understanding. This isn't a coincidence. It's the law of attraction in action. When you radiate peace, calm, and confidence, that energy attracts similar energy. You become a magnet for positive interactions, for people who are emotionally stable, and for situations that allow you to continue growing and thriving. It's in this space of emotional control that your true potential begins to unfold. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't matter, on people who don't serve your growth, and on situations that are beyond your control. You start to invest your energy in what truly matters: your growth, your relationships, your goals, your purpose. You start to build a life based on your values, not on the opinions or actions of others. And as you do, your sense of self-worth skyrockets. This is where the real magic happens. When you stop reacting to the world and start creating your own emotional reality, you begin to see the world in a new light. You start to see it not as something that's happening to you, but as something that's happening for you. Every person who challenges you, every obstacle you face, every difficult situation, it's all part of the process. It's all part of the journey that is shaping you into the best version of yourself. This mindset shift doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always easy. There will be moments when you slip up, when you fall back into old patterns of reacting with anger or frustration. But the key is in how quickly you bounce back. The key is in how quickly you return to that place of emotional control, that place of calm and clarity. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And soon it becomes second nature to respond to life's challenges with grace, patience, and understanding. The more you cultivate this inner peace, the more you realize that it's not just a state of mind, it's a way of being. It's a way of moving through the world with confidence, purpose, and emotional resilience. It's the ability to face whatever comes your way with a sense of calm, knowing that no matter what happens, you will remain unshaken. And this is where you truly begin to unlock your full potential. When you stop reacting to life and start responding with awareness and intention, you open the door to limitless possibilities. You begin to attract the people, the opportunities, and the experiences that are aligned with your highest self. Your life becomes a reflection of your inner peace, your emotional mastery, and your unwavering belief in your own strength. This is the power of emotional resilience. This is the key to never getting angry or bothered by anyone. It's not about changing the world around you, it's about changing how you respond to it. When you take control of your emotions, you take control of your life, and in doing so, you unlock the door to a future filled with peace, joy, and limitless potential. As you deepen your emotional mastery, you begin to realize something incredibly profound. The world around you doesn't have to change for you to find peace. In fact, the more you focus on changing your own internal world, the less the external world can disrupt your sense of calm. The people, the situations, the challenges, they no longer hold the power to disturb you. Your inner peace becomes your anchor, something that no storm can shake. When you start to make peace your priority, you see the world through a new lens. You stop reacting to every little thing that happens to you. Instead, you begin to respond with a sense of understanding, patience, and control. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you no longer feel the old rush of anger or frustration. You simply let it go. When someone criticizes you, you no longer take it personally. You recognize that their words are a reflection of their own inner world, not a judgment of your worth. And with that, the power they once held over your emotions vanishes. This shift is truly liberating. The more you practice emotional control, the more you see that your happiness and peace aren't dependent on external validation. The weight of other people's expectations, opinions, and judgments no longer holds you captive. You realize that you don't need anyone's approval to feel good about yourself. Your worth is already established. It is inherent. It is not something that can be earned or taken away by anyone else. And once you internalize this truth, a profound freedom takes root. This freedom comes from knowing that you don't have to react to the things that happen around you. You don't have to react to other people's actions, their moods, or their behaviors. You stop seeking control over people and start seeking control over yourself. You begin to see that the only thing that you can truly control is your own mind, your own emotions, and your own response to the world. This realization is empowering. It allows you to release the need to control, to fight, to defend. It brings a sense of calm certainty. You don't need to explain yourself, justify your actions, or engage in power struggles with others. Your peace is not negotiable. When you stop giving away your emotional energy to others, you reclaim your power. No longer do you waste time and energy trying to please people or avoid conflict. No longer are you driven by the need to prove yourself, to gain approval, or to avoid judgment. Instead, you focus on what truly matters: your own growth, your own happiness, and your own well-being. This doesn't mean that you stop caring about others or stop being empathetic. It simply means that you no longer let other people's emotions dictate your own. You recognize that you can be kind, loving, and supportive without losing your peace. The incredible thing about emotional mastery is that it ripples out into every area of your life. As you become more in control of your emotions, you begin to see the impact it has on your relationships. You stop engaging in unnecessary arguments or toxic dynamics. You stop getting caught up in the drama and start focusing on building connections that are healthy, supportive, and uplifting. You learn to communicate with clarity and calmness, even in the face of disagreement. You no longer feel the need to defend your opinions or prove that you are right. You simply share your perspective with love and respect, allowing the space for others to do the same. This fosters an environment where mutual understanding and respect flourish. But it doesn't end there. When you take control of your emotional state, you begin to notice a shift in your professional life as well. You stop reacting impulsively to stress, criticism, or setbacks. Instead, you approach challenges with a clear, focused mind. You solve problems with ease and confidence. You stop getting overwhelmed by obstacles and start viewing them as opportunities for growth. Your ability to stay calm under pressure becomes one of your greatest strengths, setting you apart from others in your field. Your work relationships improve and your productivity increases because you are no longer bogged down by unnecessary emotional baggage. As you continue to practice this emotional mastery, you'll begin to see a shift in your physical health as well. Stress and anxiety have a direct impact on your body, on your heart, your immune system, and your overall well-being. But when you stop reacting with anger, fear, or frustration, your body begins to relax. Your muscles release their tension. Your breath becomes deeper and more intentional. Your heart rate slows. You begin to feel more energized, more alive, and more connected to your body. This is the gift that emotional mastery gives you, a life of calm, confidence, and clarity. You stop being a slave to your emotions. You stop letting the world dictate how you feel, and instead, you become the master of your emotional world. You take control of your responses, and in doing so, you take control of your life. The results are nothing short of transformational. You begin to feel a deep sense of inner peace, a peace that no one and nothing can take away from you. You stop being controlled by the fear of what others think, the anxiety of what might happen next, or the anger of what has already happened. You start to live in the present moment, fully engaged, fully alive. And as you do, you unlock a version of yourself that is more powerful, more confident, and more capable than you ever imagined. This is the power that lies within you. It's the power to take control of your emotions, to shape your own inner world, and to create a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. The key to never getting angry or bothered by anyone is not in changing the world around you. It's in changing how you respond to it. When you master your emotions, you master your life. And that is a power that no one can ever take from you. As you continue on this journey of emotional mastery, you'll start to notice something remarkable. The power to control your emotions doesn't just transform your inner world. It transforms your entire life. When you no longer allow anger, frustration, or external circumstances to dictate how you feel, you create space for a deeper sense of peace and joy to take root. You begin to see that true fulfillment doesn't come from the validation of others or from the outcomes of your actions. It comes from within, from the unwavering belief that you are enough, just as you are. This belief, that you are enough, becomes the foundation for everything you do. It's the cornerstone of your emotional strength. When you are anchored in the truth of your worth, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You stop seeking approval, validation, or permission to be yourself. You recognize that your peace is not up for negotiation. It doesn't depend on what others think, what they do, or how they behave. It only depends on you, on your ability to choose how you respond. This shift in perspective is liberating. It gives you the freedom to live authentically, to show up in the world as your true self, without fear of judgment or rejection. You stop putting on masks to please others, and you stop shrinking yourself to fit into boxes that don't align with who you are. You begin to embrace your uniqueness, your quirks, your imperfections, and you stand tall in the truth of your own being. But this doesn't mean that life will stop throwing challenges your way. In fact, the more you grow in emotional resilience, the more life will test you. It will send people into your path who are difficult, situations that feel overwhelming, and moments that seem designed to push your buttons. But now, with the power of emotional mastery, You face these challenges from a place of strength and clarity. You no longer react out of fear or anger. You respond with grace, patience, and understanding. You realize that challenges are not obstacles to your peace, they are opportunities to strengthen it. Every difficult person, every stressful situation, every setback is a chance for you to practice your emotional control. And as you continue to practice, your emotional resilience grows. You become more adept at staying calm in the face of adversity. You develop a deep sense of trust in yourself, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the power to maintain your peace. This deep trust in yourself is one of the most powerful outcomes of emotional mastery. When you trust yourself, you stop second-guessing your decisions. You stop overthinking and overanalyzing every situation. You stop looking for external validation and instead trust your intuition and your judgment. You recognize that you have all the wisdom, strength, and guidance you need within you. And with this trust comes an inner confidence that cannot be shaken by the opinions or actions of others. With this newfound confidence, you start to see that you have the power to shape your own reality. Your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions all have a direct impact on the life you create. When you choose peace, you create a life filled with peace. When you choose love, you create a life filled with love. When you choose joy, you create a life filled with joy. You realize that you are the creator of your own experience, and this realization is nothing short of empowering. The beauty of this emotional mastery is that it doesn't require you to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. You don't have to always stay calm or always choose peace. What matters is your commitment to the process, your dedication to growing and evolving, and your willingness to return to peace again and again whenever you slip. Because the truth is, you will slip. There will be moments when you lose your cool, when your emotions get the best of you, when you react impulsively. But what matters is how quickly you come back. What matters is your ability to recognize when you've lost your peace and take steps to reclaim it. This commitment to coming back to peace, time and time again, builds emotional strength like nothing else. It allows you to develop resilience. The kind of resilience that doesn't just help you survive life's challenges, but helps you thrive through them. You learn to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, patience, and unwavering inner calm. And as you continue to practice this emotional mastery, you begin to notice something else. The world around you begins to change. The more you choose peace, the more peace you attract. The more you choose love, the more love you experience. The more you choose understanding, the more understanding you receive. Your inner world becomes a mirror of your outer world. And as your outer world begins to reflect your inner peace, your life becomes a living testament to the power of emotional mastery. This is the magic of emotional control. When you take responsibility for your own emotions, when you choose how you respond to the world, you unlock a power that is truly life-changing. No longer are you at the mercy of the people, situations, and circumstances that used to trigger you. You are the creator of your own emotional reality. You decide what affects you, what disturbs your peace, and what doesn't. You take back control of your life. And in this space of emotional control, you find freedom. The freedom to live your life on your terms. The freedom to pursue your goals without fear or doubt. The freedom to experience joy and fulfillment, regardless of what's happening around you. This is the power of emotional mastery. It is the key to a life of peace, purpose, and unlimited potential. It is the key to never getting angry or bothered by anyone ever again. And it's a power that you can tap into at any moment, whenever you choose. As you embrace this journey of emotional mastery, you will begin to realize something profoundly simple yet immensely powerful. Your peace is yours to guard, and it is a choice you make every single day. It's not about controlling the world around you, but about cultivating a deep sense of control over how you react to that world. The more you nurture this internal strength, the more you realize that the external chaos can no longer penetrate your center. The noise, the drama, the frustrations, they simply lose their grip on you. It's easy to believe that peace comes from a perfect world, a world where everything is just as we want it, where there are no difficult people or overwhelming situations. But that's not where peace lives. Peace exists in your ability to remain grounded no matter the circumstances. It exists in the way you respond, not react, to everything life throws your way. The truth is, emotional mastery doesn't come from avoiding conflict or shielding yourself from the world. It comes from facing the world head-on and choosing to respond with calm, clarity, and grace, no matter what happens. It comes from trusting that no matter what others do or say, You have the power to control how you engage with them. When you own this power, everything changes. You stop being at the mercy of every person who comes into your life, every criticism or judgment, every challenge that arises. You learn to stand firm in the strength of your own inner peace. The beauty of emotional mastery is that it creates a ripple effect, not only in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. When you choose peace, you become an anchor for those who may be struggling with their own emotions. When you remain calm and centered in the face of difficulty, others are inspired by your example. They start to see that it's possible to face life's challenges without losing control, without falling prey to anger or frustration. Your emotional strength becomes a beacon of light for others, guiding them back to their own center when they feel lost. But this process is not instant. It requires patience, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to your own growth. There will be moments when you stumble, when you feel that old anger bubbling up or frustration creeping in. And in those moments, it's easy to feel discouraged or to believe that you've failed. But the key to emotional mastery is not in being perfect. It's in the willingness to keep going, to keep returning to your center each time you lose your way. Every time you choose peace, every time you return to your emotional strength, you are reinforcing the power that lies within you. With each step forward, you become more attuned to your own emotional state. You begin to recognize the subtle signs of when you're starting to lose control, when you're becoming irritated, anxious, or upset, and you learn to intercept those emotions before they take hold. This awareness is the key to shifting your emotional state. The moment you notice the first spark of anger, you can decide whether or not you're going to let it consume you. The moment you feel frustration rising, you can choose to breathe, to pause, to take a step back, and respond from a place of clarity rather than reacting from a place of emotion. This awareness gives you the ability to maintain your peace in any situation. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending that you don't feel upset. It's about recognizing those feelings for what they are, temporary and fleeting, and choosing not to let them control your actions. It's about learning to ride the wave of emotion without being swept away by it. You can experience anger without letting it dictate your behavior. You can feel frustration without letting it rule your actions. You can recognize negativity without letting it define your day. As you practice this, you will begin to notice something extraordinary. The moments of tension in your life become less frequent. The situations that used to send you into a tailspin of frustration or anger no longer have the same power over you. You become more grounded, more centered, more at peace with yourself and the world around you. Life's challenges are no longer obstacles. They are opportunities for growth, chances to practice emotional control and reinforce your inner strength. And when those challenges do arise, as they inevitably will, you approach them with an unwavering confidence that you will navigate them with grace. You understand that no situation is beyond your control, not because you can change the world around you, but because you can control how you respond to it. When life becomes unpredictable, you find your peace, and in that peace, you find your power. You'll also begin to notice the impact this peace has on the people around you. Your calmness becomes contagious. When you are emotionally grounded, others feel it. They begin to mirror your behavior, responding with more patience, more understanding, and more composure. This creates a ripple effect, and soon you find that your emotional control has not only transformed your own life, but has touched the lives of others as well. The true beauty of emotional mastery is not just in how it affects you, it's in how it transforms your relationships, your career, and your sense of self. As you become more emotionally resilient, you attract better opportunities, more supportive people, and a life that is aligned with your values. You begin to manifest a life that reflects your inner peace, a life filled with love, respect, and understanding. And through it all, you will realize that emotional mastery is not about seeking perfection. It's about embracing the journey. It's about committing to the process of growth, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. As you learn to master your emotions, you unlock the door to a life that is truly your own, a life where you are the creator of your experiences, the captain of your soul, and the master of your destiny. As you continue to deepen your emotional mastery, you'll start to recognize just how much power you have in your life. It's not the power to control others or to shape every circumstance, but the power to choose how you respond to them. That's where true strength lies, not in controlling everything around you, but in mastering your inner world. This is where your peace comes from your ability to decide how you want to feel, regardless of the external situation. The world will always have its ups and downs. People will still test you, situations will still challenge you, and life will continue to present moments that could easily trigger anger, frustration, or sadness. But your peace doesn't need to depend on any of these things. When you are emotionally empowered, you begin to live by a different rulebook. You start to understand that no one, no matter what they do or say, has the right to disturb your inner calm. This realization is a powerful one. It frees you from the chains of dependency on the approval of others, dependency on the smooth flow of life, dependency on external validation for your happiness. You start to see that true fulfillment doesn't come from having things go perfectly, but from knowing that no matter what happens, you are in control of how you respond. And when you respond from a place of peace, everything changes. This ability to remain calm amidst the storm is not only liberating, but it's transformative. It shifts your energy and your perspective. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances, and you start seeing every challenge as an opportunity to reinforce your strength. Every moment of tension becomes a moment to practice your peace. You begin to realize that when life is difficult, that's when your emotional power matters the most. It's in those moments that you prove to yourself just how much you've grown, just how much control you've gained over your emotions. You might face situations that would have once sent you into a spiral of anger or frustration. Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic or a colleague makes a cutting remark. These moments, once so capable of setting you off, no longer have that power over you. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause, breathe, and take a moment to center yourself. You become the observer of your emotions, not the prisoner of them. In that moment, you have a choice. Will you let this person's actions or words dictate how you feel, or will you choose peace no matter what they do? This is emotional mastery at its finest. It's not about being perfect or always having it together. It's about recognizing that your emotions are valid, but that you have the ability to choose how to respond. You don't have to give in to every emotional impulse that arises. Instead, you have the power to direct those emotions in a way that serves your highest good. When you begin to do this, you'll notice that life feels easier. You feel lighter. Your relationships improve because you stop reacting with defensiveness or anger. Your work improves because you approach challenges with a calm mind and a steady hand. And as you grow in emotional mastery, you'll begin to realize something even more powerful. You are a reflection of the energy you put out into the world. When you choose peace, you start to attract peace. When you show up with calmness and clarity, the people around you start to mirror that energy. You'll notice that the situations that once triggered you no longer seem to have the same weight. You'll find yourself moving through life with more ease, more grace, and more confidence. It's not just about controlling your emotions. It's about creating an emotional environment around you that attracts the life you desire. When you show up as a person who is in control of their emotions, who radiates peace and positivity, you attract more of that into your life.